What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you about Healthier Choices Management, ticker is HCMC. I want to give you a good breakdown of why I feel they have started officially their 4-point plan and what that means for investors. Before I get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that, let's get right to it. One thing that's very much surprised me with HCMC is them being still on this screener. So this is a screener that I do use to look at over-the-counter stocks, and surprisingly enough, it's always around the top 10 for volume, and I think that's a very good thing. The fact that the lawsuit kind of dwindled out almost about 1 year ago, and people are still very much getting into HCMC, I think that's a very, very good thing. And it does go to show that HCMC does have a very good fundamental business behind the scenes versus a lot of other over-the-counter stocks. But like I said, based on their 4-point plan, I think this is what a lot of investors are truly looking at. And part of their 4-point plan, the first step is buyback of common stock up to roughly about $5 million. And it goes to show right here, it says that they're doing $5 million, which works out to be about 27% of its current capital reserves. So definitely a very big amount. But like I said, this is the first step. And technically as well, they did come out in October saying that they officially got the rubber stamp to buy back $5 million. And in case you guys aren't aware, $5 million of HCMC stock, for instance, at that 0002 mark, is roughly about 25 billion shares. So again, that's a pretty big amount. So once again, you have to kind of look at the volume to see if there is actually any buying, because normally anything outside of over the counter, you can kind of look at a lot of the trade and sales. You can kind of also look at a lot of different indicators to see if any big purchases have happened, whether the company has actually started to do the buyback or not. But when it comes down to over the counter stocks, it's a little bit different. You do have to look at plainly just the volume and coincide that with shorts. So once again, I'm going to give you a good breakdown, but for instance, yesterday there was 250 million shares being traded, as you can kind of see based on that screener I just showed you. Average volume is 200,000. So like I said, the fact that there is well above the average volume is very, very good for HCMC fundamentally. But when it comes down to it, you always have to coincide it with this. So this is the shorts as far as how much volume they are really influencing in the day. So as you can see, there is a couple outliers right here, but based on those days, there's only about 4% of the daily volume being attributed to shorts. So as you can see, this pickup in volume right here, starting it looks like on December the 16th, it is fair to say that this is all attributed to the company buying back shares, because there's been no fluctuations in the price as of HCMC. It is still barcoding technically, but once again, I think this is a very good thing that HCMC did technically start to buy back. There isn't necessarily $25 billion worth, maybe about $1 or $2 billion as far as even if they were 50% of this volume. But still, regardless, the fact that they are still starting to do their 4-point plan is very, very positive, because I think at this stage in the game, they were wanting it fully completed by Q4, which in reality was fairly fast and very ambitious if you think about it. So technically this did come out, like I said, August 2022, and they were wanting this to be fully spun off by Q4. So they're wanting to do the buyback, the spin-off of the actual company into NewCo, dividend, and the capital raise as well. So they were wanting to do a lot of things all at once. I do anticipate this equity raise being done at the very end once it is kind of being rolled out. So most likely you won't see anything about that being separate or anything. But like I said, going back to the volume, there is those two real indicators where volume just is through the roof and technically shorts are just down. And like I said, still barcoding as of right now. So nothing really for fundamentally for the company to go up because of or anything of that. They recently did submit an 8K talking about how they did acquire additional assets back in October, but or at least a larger stake. But outside of that, though, still no fundamental reason for HCMC to go higher. So I think this is very interesting for investors because part of this 4-point plan is they're attempting and wanting to bring back shareholder value. But the fact is, right now, there's nothing really holding HCMC back other than the lack of fundamental operational news. So it's a very interesting component that they're really expecting shareholders to immediately love this NewCo right after the fact. Of course, I like to play devil's advocate, as you guys may or may not know, but I actually did buy a little bit more HCMC. I'm very, very happy. I've been wanting to try and buy it at the 0001 mark. It never stuck, but I actually did recently buy it at the 0001 mark, which at that price you can't go wrong whatsoever. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Hopefully you do see a little bit more of a update as far as their website soon to indicate that they are starting to roll it out, at least soon, hopefully, but most likely it is going to be happening in either Q2 or Q3. My own interpretation, who isn't a financial advisor, but just the fact that given the market conditions right now, it's not really advantageous for HCMC to actually roll out a new company, and they do want to actually put this company out on the New York Stock Exchange, so very high expectations. But coming from a investor standpoint, you can most likely expect Q3 of 2023, of course. But like I said, I think generally speaking, it does have some good investors behind it. FineMark is still holding strong, obviously at a very significant loss, but still holding strong. So it's very good to see that HCMC is very much being held by some fairly good institutions as well. So I think that's a very good thing. And once it does get rolled out into that NewCo and put onto the New York Stock Exchange, this is where a lot of investors are really going to get into it potentially. So again, that's a very good thing behind the scenes. Let me know your thoughts on HCMC and if you've been buying or whatever it might be like myself, because at 0001, I couldn't go wrong by any means. I've been trying to do that for almost like 2 months. So I'm very happy that I actually got that filled. So once again, let me know your thoughts on HCMC in the comments below, and the fact that they most likely have actually started their 4-point plan to this transition to NewCo. So very exciting things will be coming in 2023 for HCMC. But if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships. Link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that said, appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on HCMC.